Wake up, Adam, they are getting close.
Make it hereby. Everything about to get put on pause. Loser, don't believe me in God. Booyah, gonna bring it real raw. Make it hereby. Everything about to get put on pause. Loser, don't believe me in God. Booyah, gonna bring it real raw. Make it hereby. Everything about to get put on.
All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. So this is going to be experiment. It is possibly going to be a shite show because there is a lot of stuff going on, and I'll explain that here in a second. But I do want to make sure that everybody is able to find us. And again, this is not going to be a normal show. It will be sort of a normal show. I have my normal list of kind of news here. But we will be down website. We don't have a website. Again, we do not have Dex until Friday. He normally does uploads all of the bibliography to the website. But I will be placing a full bibliography on the comments down below. I always provide sources for all of the articles and everything that I will be talking about. But also, I got a new computer, if you guys remember, about a month ago, in fact, and I finally got a somewhat current computer so we could have guests on and to upgrade a lot of the stuff. My old computer, which was, I think, my third, was so slow we couldn't even do graphics or even like transitions, and it would just stop up the show, whatever else. But as far as having video guests and things like that, it slowed it up. Anyways, that's all over with. But when we have kind of our workflow and we have our nightly show, everything goes into that, and then we never really stop to do that. So I do kind of have a good chance to kind of upgrade my end and to add a bunch of stuff in. Going to be adding another platform and 2 other channels. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be added. So I ask for your patience during this. We're even working harder to put out more stuff to more people, to more places. So I really appreciate everybody for being patient with that. I frankly, because of this whole system being kind of shaken up and I'm doing it now, I'm able to do a lot more with this. I don't know exactly if you guys didn't know, if streaming is not as easy as people think, especially when you have sound gear and you have all of these other things. Today, I probably spent 6 or 7 hours downloading drivers for each one of the things that I have sound-wise. And then basically downloading driver after driver and figuring out which ones work and which ones don't. It was a nightmare. So I thank you and I appreciate you. And again, we will most likely, I don't know if we'll update the 5 days or 4 days without Dex, the website with the bibliography, or we'll just leave it on these comments. But remember, you can go to that very first comment. Thank you, Scott Blake, for becoming a member. Thank you for everybody that has become a member. We're independent, so we are completely on our own. And we don't have a multi-channel network to protect us. We don't have a multi-billion-dollar corporation behind us. It's just myself, Dex, the mods, and our great team of Foogle fam members that help send in news and things and interesting stories. And then we have you guys. So thank you so much for being here. We're going to talk about today the former defense official saying that the U.S. has recovered technology that did not originate on Earth. We actually mentioned this before. There's something a little bit different about this time. And of course, today, I guess, technically it's after midnight. Later today, there's going to be the whole UAP thing. We're also going to be talking about AI. Briefly, I'm not going to hit that much. I thought it was kind of interesting. Essentially, they're creating songs with AI. Government hiding alien spacecraft, and Belarus arms emergency ministry to be ready in case of armed conflict, possibly a Fantastic Freddy coming. And then some of the things we won't be covering, but and because I don't know what's happening with this, people are getting taken off of Twitter right now for talking about the incident that happened next to our former prez. Somebody who worked for him essentially had a very tragic incident. Many people have a theory right now, and many people are kind of making correlations to a former candidate that was going to be a president and the count that person had. But again, I probably won't be covering that until I know if I am knowledgeable enough to speak on it. And of course, it happens over the last couple of days. My first reaction was like, yeah, okay, freak accident in my butt. But again, it's crazy. There are some big names that are just getting taken down. And when I see that, I think, then maybe there is something there. And then China, we'll talk about that. And Biden's dog commander, that's going to be a smaller one. And then U.S. to provide tiny Black Hornet nano drones. We'll hit on that. And then we will also hit on kind of the things that are going to happen today or tomorrow, technically today, but tomorrow for me, which is the first appearance, I believe, of the president's son, the UAP hearing, and then all of the Black Start drills that are going on for the preparing for some sort of grid down scenario. So I'm going to go check. I'm going to check real quick because I did set up an event, but I don't know if it worked like it was supposed to. But because I will go over and I'll pop open the chat here in just a second, just to make sure that and I don't normally do it this late, and it looks like it did not go to the right one. So let me just hop in, and then mods, if any of my mods are up this late, if you can let people know the correct place to go. Let's see here, back out and go to Marfoogle TV live. Did not happen here. And if you're watching the replay, you can always fast forward through this. I know that there's going to be a lot of morning people that are watching this that you can just fast forward through this live stuff. By the way, thank you, Brandon Mitchell, that is over on that other live. Thank you, Rudy Ramos. We have Next Exit, Neds352, Laura Gittens, Darren Schrader, Crypto Dread. I'm on the East Coast. Thank you, Crypto. And then welcome to the Asylum. Thank you for being over there. And hopefully you make it over here. Thank you, everybody that shares out this show. It's probably not going to reach too many people because I don't think it loaded right. So either way, we're going to get, let's see here, almost 600 at this time of night, which is really, really cool. And I'm very blessed to have people that are up this late because I used to go live all the time this late. This was my normal time. And again, thank you, Scott Blake, for joining. All right. So, by the way, if you have news that you want to bring to my attention too, make sure to drop it in the chat. It's early at this time of night. For those of you that have insomnia, like Darren Schrader, there's a lot of stuff that actually pops up in the middle of the night. And I have noticed that as well. I'm a night owl. I used to do all my shows at my time, like 11 through 1 a.m. So actually a lot of my first audience was people in New York and the East Coast, and even further down the timeline that were just waking up and having their coffee and watching this in the morning. So for you morning folks, I hope you have a good cup of coffee ready, and let's talk about it. Thank you, David Reed. Let's hit the like button. Hey, David, what are you doing up so late? You're in my time zone. Thanks for making it, David. And say hi to Laura for me. And thank you, Eyes Wide Shut, ICU, Chesley. Let's see here. Nature, Checkpoint Crazy. And thank you. And then Lisa. Hey, Lisa, I don't know if you are the only mod here. Oh, we've got Wages. Hey, so Lisa and Wages, if you can, drop this link in that other chat. There was only about 20 people there. And that was kind of funny. I saw the light blink, but I have a wireless light that Dex actually can access, so he can blink at me to tell me something, but Dex isn't around, so maybe it's his ghost. All right, so first of all, it's actually a really awesome, simple system. Get a Wi-Fi light bulb, and then from another state, somebody can be like, hey, can I interrupt? It's a great way of like raising your hand. Former defense official says that the U.S. has recovered technology that did not originate on this earth. Now, this is a trip. Former defense official says that the U.S. has recovered technology that, quote, did not originate from Earth. Former intelligence chief Christopher Mellon has said that he believes that the U.S. has recovered technology that did not originate here. Ahead of the scheduled Congress hearing about UFOs on Wednesday, Malone said that America may have, from someone else's space, may have in our possession off-world technology recovered from somebody else's space program. And I don't think he means Russia or China. It says the 65-year-old served as Deputy Assistant of Secretary of Defense for Intelligence in the Clinton and Bush administrations, and he now works as a private equity investor. In 2020, he admitted that he was the secret source who provided the New York Times with the 3 UFO videos it famously published in 2017. So the Tic Tac videos, he is now coming out and saying that he was the one who did that, right? So first of all, there's always going to be some folks that are sketch about this because obviously if the same gentleman that puts together these 3 videos that of course made huge waves, they were talked about on every mainstream media. They talked about these videos of the Tic Tac objects going super fast. And if you just watch them, it doesn't matter even. So say if they're real, you can tell that it is not something of our making. You can tell that they're going, even if it was our making, there's no aircraft that can do this kind of stuff. It's just not. And frankly, those videos, I don't know. I've said this when we covered those videos. Those videos remind me of what I've seen in real life when I was a kid, and what really got me into the whole alien space in the first place is when I saw something I couldn't explain near, and I always get the 2 comments confused. One of them I was alive for, one of them I was not. I think it was Haley's comment, or whichever one was in the, I believe, early 90s. But that one, I saw something go, doof, 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 and then just disappear. It was unbelievable. It was something that I immediately ran into my grandpa, and my grandpa's like, okay, sure, kid, patted me on the head. I know what I saw, and many other people have had kind of experiences like that. We've had many calls on our call-in shows of folks that have seen crazy things. One that pops up in my memory is that one person who called in and had the video of the thing that popped up over the water as they were watching the horizon, and this thing popped out in the water. And at first you go, oh, maybe it's just a boat way out, but then it just goes choo and takes off. So, I mean, there's things like that where you look at it and you know that's not normal. And I think a lot of us kind of feel this way about a lot of the stuff in the sky, and we don't know what's really up there. There are still people in our community that everybody's debating. Everybody has different beliefs here, and there's folks that don't believe that, up there it might be a TV screen or that we're on a piece of paper. It doesn't matter what you believe. As far as we do know one thing for sure. We've been lied to our entire lives, and it's something that will never stop unless we evolve to some type 1 civilization or something overnight. We're going to be lied to. So it's kind of us as a community, we can talk about these things, we can disagree on them, and we have to find a way to disagree on them and still be friends and still be cool and push each other up and everything else. Because we're not all going to see on the same page. Even if I talk about NASA, there are people that say, oh, don't even talk about them. Silence when it comes to them because they're so fake and never a straight answer. I get it. I get why folks have all different beliefs, because honestly, we've all been super lied to. But as far as this goes, is this a big distraction? This whole UFO thing has been in mainstream, and just a few years back, this would be laughed at. And now it is not only something that is being talked about by respectable, media organizations, it's being talked about by politicians. And it seems to me that the reason why they're able to do this, and especially at first, was they said, well, we're not calling it UFOs. We're just saying we're concerned because these things, whatever they are, there is 100% things above our military installations and critical infrastructure, and we need to know what they are. And they basically hinted at that these might be China and Russia. Now, at the videos like the ones that this guy supposedly leaked out, it's kind of hard to say that that's Russia or China unless they have some sort of technology that we can't even fathom exists yet. So it's a kind of a trip. Here's a shot of the Tic Tac video that everybody knows. Everybody's seen this video by now, and if you haven't, I would highly recommend go watch it. You can actually, I believe you can type in Tic Tac video on marfooglenews.com, and it's archived on our website, so you can find that, which really great thing. If you haven't used the website, make sure to use that because it's all archived, and you can go back to pretty much any story. And even if we don't show the video on the show, we always link it. So you'll find any kind of big story from memory. You can actually, even if you see it somewhere else and you go, hey, I remember that, you can go to our website. And if it's happened in the last 4 years, you can most likely find it through our website, even for your own use. If you're a creator, if you're trying to find something. Mellon said that he expects some new information will surface at the House Oversight Committee hearing on identified aerial phenomena, or UAPs, or UFOs, which will be attended by Air Force and Intelligence Agency veteran David Grush on Wednesday. I expect Dave will provide some new information that we have not heard before. I think that is really what people are looking forward to. Whatever happens in this thing, everybody's kind of tired of being told that things are going to come out and then nothing comes out. Or they say, oh, we'll have complete disclosure, kind of like on JFK where they go, oh, yeah, we'll release everything. But yet 789 out of 800 pages are heavily redacted and you don't really get everything. In fact, you get a tiny bit of the story, just enough to make you more curious and more pissed off. That's what I kind of see happening here. And is that on purpose? Is that because the same day, I bet you nobody is going to cover a gentleman who is going into court for his first appearance, or I believe he is. Probably not. Is anybody going to be talking about, a specific personal assistant to the president that might have had some sort of incident? Probably not. It's probably going to be more UFO-centric tomorrow. It says, I expect Dave will provide some new information. The objective here, I think, and the opportunity is for the American people to come to better understand why is that so many in Congress actually take seriously the idea that there are UFOs, UAP, that are violating U.S. airspace and associated allegation that we may have in our possession off-world technology recovered from someone else's space program. I've been told that we've recovered technology that did not originate on this Earth by officials in the Department of Defense and by former intelligence officials, he added. Government officials have disputed this. In April, Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick of the DoD's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or ARROW, which, again, I believe that is the same one, and I might be wrong. You can correct me in chat. I believe that's the same one where that gentleman that's on Skinwalker Ranch, that he was actually on that, in that committee or whatever, and he just recently came out on the show and said for the last couple of years he was a part of that or something. I'm pretty sure that was the one he was on. So the whole thing is kind of Hollywoodish. It says, told the Senate Armed Services Committee that there is, quote, no credible evidence thus far of extraterrestrial activity or off-world technology. But Mellon said that there are credible witnesses who are in direct conflict between Dr. Kirkpatrick is saying. Congress is in the middle and they've got to sort it out, he told Cuomo. So what do you guys believe? Let me know in the chat below. Of course, thank you everybody that is up late. And actually, some folks are happy because they don't normally get to catch a live show. So that's awesome. Laura Gittins, Jonathan Earl, what is happening? We have Spartakuyutsa, First Luvia. We've got Huru TV is here. Let's see here. Cheap Heap. Darren Schrader, Maui Racing Realtor. Hey, it's nice to see you. Aloha. Judge 321, nice to see you. Eyes Wide Shut, I see you. And D Truth, my daughter made it out of the combat zone, feeling very blessed today. Bunmaster, out of the combat zone. So is your daughter in the military? Well, blessings for that. Brother Rob, what's going on? KT cleans a lot. Hello, nice to see you this morning. And then Andrea O'Neill. And Next Exit, Adelasia, and Corpus Juris. Thank you again, Wages. Thanks for being here. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, and make sure also to check out Jammer. And Jammer is actually putting the link for our website up. If you need that, it is in the chat. Thank you guys. Before we move on, again, if you can, make sure to go over and check out Energy. I highly, highly recommend if you haven't already. Make sure to go check out the solar generators over there because these are some of the best. I use not only I've used the X2 many times on the road. As far as when my power goes out, I've used the Flex 1500 several times. I have now been able to actually test out their new tactical, and I would say that most people could get by with the Flex 1500. These are modular systems. They work with kind of like Lego. They stack, and essentially you can expand them up to 96 batteries. So again, what these do is they store the power. Either you can plug it in and charge it from the wall when we do have power, or you can plug it into solar panels and charge it from the sun. You have unlimited power as long as you have a solar panel. It's very easy. You just put the solar panel out, plug one cord in, and the power is generating. It's not complex. You don't even have to turn anything on. You plug that cord in and put it out in the sun, and it's charging, and it is storing power. Then that power is stored on the battery cells until you need it, and then when you need it, this acts as a converter or an inverter, and it actually creates power, and you can plug things right into it and keep rolling. So when your power goes out, you'll have backup power on demand. The cool part about the Flex is that it is modular, so you can actually add different upgrades to it. So you can actually upgrade it to a UPS system or an uninterrupted power supply. You can upgrade it so it can triple the input. So instead of 4 panels right off the bat, you can actually plug in 12. There's all these sort of upgrades that you can do to it, and future ones to come that aren't even out yet. So that's why this is one of the best systems out there, and I believe it really is the best. There's expandable ones out there, but I do not think that they are as close to this. Again, now they are actually working directly with the military and the Air Force Research Laboratory. They actually just won a huge contract with the U.S. Army for their Flex Tactical Unit. These, again, I think most people will be good off with the regular one, but the tactical ones have heaters for extreme cold temperatures. So depending on where you are in the U.S. or if you are somewhere else in a cold temperature or cold climate, then this may be something that you need to look at. That is also kind of all of the same things are true, only it actually has more. It's got the 1,500-pound latches. It's steel reinforced. This thing could drop off a truck and be completely fine. So that is what's so cool about this, and it's got built-in heaters into all the batteries, everything else. If you are on a budget and you want something that it doesn't need to be expanded, that is just right off the bat, simple thing that would get most people through a couple-day storm, then I'd highly recommend the X2. It's very powerful. In fact, this wouldn't just be for like a 2 or 3 day storm. This would also be for anybody that does van life or RV as a permanent solution. You could get 1 or 2 of these because they're dual linkable, and you can actually put it in your van. Go over to marfooglenews.com. I think that people will end up using this, and it will save a lot of butts. Go to marfooglenews.com/energy, INERGY, and make sure to use the code Marfoogle. Not only will you get our discount, if you are interested in the Kodiak X2, that has an extra 15% off right now, so make sure to go check it out. That's, again, a huge discount on something that really doesn't get discounted because of the high demand and low supply of lithium. All right, and let's see here. Is the government hiding alien spacecraft? We may find out tomorrow. Last month, a U.S. whistleblower made headlines around the world when claiming that the government was hiding evidence of, quote, non-human intelligence. Former intelligence officer David Charles Grush alleged that the U.S. has intact and partially intact alien vehicles, but is keeping them secret from the public. Mr. Grush, who led the analysis of unexplained anomalous phenomena, or UAP, within a U.S. Department of Defense agency, told the debrief that information on these vehicles was illegally being withheld from Congress. He added that when he turned over classified information about the vehicles to Congress, he suffered retaliation from officials. Those claims have been supported by Republican Congressman Tim Burchett, who told the Washington Examiner he thinks that the government has been holding stuff back since Roswell in 1947 and maybe prior to that. It says that now, however, Mr. Grush and 2 others will be giving testimony before the U.S. House of Representatives and Congress, and everyone can tune in on YouTube. It says officially called the Subcommittee Hearing on Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, Implications on National Security. It said that alongside Mr. Grush's testimony, the committee will hear from 2 other former U.S. military and intelligence community personnel, Ryan Graves and David Fravor, who both claim that they have witnessed non-human aircraft. In May, NASA released the first findings of its independent study group into UAPs, while the team did not reveal evidence of non-human intelligence. It did share a number of cases in which objects seen could not be explained. So, what do you guys want to bet that this comes out tomorrow and it is more of that? Basically, there's nothing that is really, a mind-blowing thing or anything, but just enough to irritate us because it is some information that makes us think absolutely there's something weird here, but not enough to prove it. That's my thought. What is yours? Let me know in the comments down below. That's what I think is going to happen personally, but let me know. The Salt Lakers, hey, Warren G, I watched that earlier. Unfortunately, we won't get the real truth until the entire system goes down. I don't know how we will get the truth then. I think we'll know the truth once it all goes down, but Jamlo and Juanita Seguski, let's see here. Prez's dog likes to bite everybody. Yes. Looks like it. We'll talk about that here in a second. Illuminati Killer, Cabin Girl, thank you. Judge321 says there is no Nibiru. I think that's what you're saying. Nibiru? Let's see here. Bun Master, Preparedness Hobby and I, so worried, but we finally heard from her this evening. Oh, Bun Master, I hope that's great that your daughter is okay. And then Car L, Make Out with Chaos Morning. Car L, by the way, I don't know if that's I just watched the new Flash movie, which I can't believe all of the little things in there that they did to wash that movie. But I waited until I didn't go see it in theaters or anything. I waited until it was free through the thing that I had, and I just wow, that movie. I think Kar-El is Superman's cousin, isn't that right? And then Belarus arms emergency ministry to be ready in case of armed conflict. The Belarusian Ministry of Emergency Situations is completing the arming and military training of its personnel to be ready to aid the defense of internal ministries in the event of an armed conflict. It says that the head of the emergency ministry said on Monday. Emergency Minister Vadim Sinyavsky told State Belarus 1 television that his employees will be ready to assist the ministries in the, quote, event of an armed conflict or some kind of riots in which a significant number of personnel must be involved. Now, did this mean to get out further, to get out to the main public? Or is it purposely getting put out to make it sound like something's about to go down and then to have this set up? If you see this like I see this, and I have a slant on things because I've seen so many things that are talked about in the news, and then if you cover this every day and you keep following up on it, which I do because it's my job, is you start to see the patterns on all of the different hyped things that they talk about and the things that actually come true. Out of those things that come true, you start to see a pattern on what is being said. You also see a pattern on how they talk about things and how they set it up before it happens. Again, they're saying that the emergency minister, Vadim Sinyavsky, told the local television there that they're basically getting ready in the event of an armed conflict or some sort of riots in which significant number of personnel must be involved. Now, if you go back all of the way to all of the different things that Lukashenko and Belarus and some of their representatives have said, they have said that the only way that they would get involved in this current Russian conflict is if they were attacked. They are essentially saying that they're getting ready for some sort of armed conflict. At the same time, they are saying that Poland is aggressively arming up their border. Poland is actually admitting that it is arming and essentially beefing up their border with Belarus. And then you have all of these rumors going through Telegram and all of these other places that it's about to pop off, not between Russia and Poland, but Belarus and Poland with Wagner's group fighters, right? So it's being set up as if something's about to go down. That's what I see. I don't think it's a guaranteed thing. I think it's more like this is possibly propaganda, or it's some sort of 4D chess where they're putting this out there so there's a message to somebody. I don't know. But Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko said earlier this year he wants, quote, every man, and not only a man, to be able to at least handle weapons to respond to an act of aggression. So he even said, hey, even the women and possibly even the children should learn how to fire one, right? While not sending his own troops to UKR, Lukashenko allowed Moscow to use Belarusian territory to launch its full-scale invasion on Ukraine in February of 2022, which back when we were covering, that's when they made that floating bridge and all the Zaporizhia stuff happen. And they had all of their stuff set up from before. Belarus and Russia have since held multiple joint military, have since held multiple joint military training exercises, and in June, Lukashenko allowed his country to be used as a base for Moscow's nuclear weapons, a move broadly condemned by the West. Lukashenko has also frequently met with Russian President Vladimir Putin, with the latest two-day trip of the Belarusian president to Moscow ending on Monday, where the two leaders talked about, quote, strategic partnership. Russia and Belarus are linked in a partnership called the Union State, in which Moscow is by far the dominant player. The perception that Lukashenko, a pariah in the West, depends on Putin for his survival and fanned fears in Kiev that Putin would pressure him to join a fresh ground offensive and open a new front in Russia's faltering invasion of UKR. Now remember, they're saying faltering invasion, and most people believe that. Most people actually take that at face value and say that Russia's invasion is completely going really, really bad. But there are many others. In fact, there are many respectable people that are coming out and saying that they are not steamrolling Russia back into the country, that they're not, that UKR isn't valiantly winning this thing. There are many people that are saying that UKR is about to be done. There are former generals and colonels that are saying that UKR is practically wiped out. So it doesn't matter either way you believe. If UKR is winning, then if Russia really is on their back legs, they're no limit partners with not only Lukashenko, they've got nukes, they've got all this, but they're also no limit partners with, of course, Xi over in China. And China has its own agenda, which is all coming to a peak as well. The financial world in the entire planet is right now teetering on the edge of an apocalypse as well. That's not to scare people. That's not even like, that's just being realistic. If you look at the dollar, if you look at everything that is happening right now, and if you look where our country is going, we're not really headed to some sort of field of rainbows and ponies. Things are not looking good. But as far as this goes, whatever side you believe, it seems like something is getting ready to happen. And I sure hope it doesn't. But again, history tells time after time it does. And then North Korean hackers targeting Jump Cloud mistakenly exposed their IP addresses, researchers say. You never know what, and take everything with a grain of salt. I usually have like a little, what do you call it? Like my title screen that basically tells you, take everything with a grain of salt. You never know what is true coming out of North Korea. Everything on the internet is possibly, one angle or another. But it says that security researchers say that they have high confidence that North Korean hackers were behind a recent intrusion at enterprise software company Jump Cloud because of a mistake the hackers made. Mandiant, which is assisting one of Jump Cloud's affected customers, attributed the breach to hackers working for North Korea's Reconnaissance General Bureau, or RGB, red, green, blue, a hacking unit that targets cryptocurrency companies and steals passwords from executives and security teams. North Korea has long used crypto thefts to fund its sanctioned nuclear weapons program. In a blog post, Mandiant said that the hacking unit, which calls UNC 4899, since it's a new unclassified threat group, mistakenly exposed their real-world IP addresses. It says the North Korean hackers would often use commercial VPN services to mask their IP addresses, but on many occasions, the VPN failed to work or the hackers did not use them when accessing the victim's network, exposing their access from Pyongyang. This sounds like BS, and I'm not saying that North Korea is totally not stupid enough to do something like this, or that they're just, it seems to me like somebody might be setting us up to start something with North Korea. Mind you, North Korea totally could have done this and totally could have let its IP addresses out, but this is a cyber unit of any kind. Most people's opinion of North Korea is pretty low, but that's pretty stupid for you to do some sort of huge cyber event on a huge company, have it be successful, but you accidentally forgot to hide your IP or you did it from the thing, that's got to be purposeful. That's something to where they either did it on purpose so they knew it was them, or somebody else who was a better cyber unit did it and made it look like it's North Korea for some sort of reason. What do you guys think? When I read this, what do you guys think about that? Do you think that somebody is trying to frame North Korea? It's not like they need to be framed, but it's like it makes you wonder because they are possibly a puppet of Russia or China. They could be a CIA puppet. We don't know. Let's see here. North Korea has no internet. Well, I don't know how many people have internet, but I don't know. You know what is crazy is I don't know much about, like, do they have an intranet? What? But I would assume that their government has the internet, and not the people. That makes complete sense. Wharton Fissel, what's happening? Corey, we've got only one away mon. Let's see here. Columbus, Indiana, the Hizzy. Aberration. We've got Darren Schrader. Thank you guys. We had at least 1,000 people show up at midnight. So thank you. Thank you guys so much for being here. And thank you, Lisa and Wages and Jammer, my Foogle fam night owls, for making the super, super late show. Yeah, many people do not believe that this is real. Is this really live? Angela Bloom. Yes, it is, unfortunately. If you missed the beginning of the show, I'm setting up new platforms until Friday. I actually am updating all of my stuff. So this whole week is going to be chaotic because I'm actually upgrading and updating all of the stuff I need on my new computer. We don't have a staff of people that come do that. Like if you were at some big news company, somebody would come in and get it done like that. I've got to do all of the stuff myself, not being an expert. I literally have to, watch YouTube videos to find out what driver to use to get my show to run properly if one thing fails. So I appreciate everybody's support and thank you very much for showing up. Which, by the way, thank you. Bodhisattva says, for what it's worth, I can vouch for Fraver's credibility and integrity. I served with him in the Navy in the early 2000s. He's an honorable person. So Bodhisattva, Bodhi, nice to see you. Bodhi, you actually served with what was it, David Fraver? Is that what his name was? I'm probably mixing up the two gentlemen. But that's from the two guys that are testifying tomorrow at the UAP hearing. That's crazy. Thank you for your service, by the way. Thank you, Bodhi. And yes, it was Neil. Guns and Water. Hey, nice to see you. Chastity Renee. I think he's in Wyoming. Fly Deck's out there to help. Darren Trader. Well, actually, even if he's not here, he can help with some stuff like that. But nobody can help with this kind of setup. I don't think a lot of people realize. You can't just look up a YouTube video like how to stream. If you have a custom setup, everything, you can't call like a sound expert at like Guitar Center or something. I'm literally using a real example because I tried. Like saying, hey, how do I hook up this to this, to this, to this? And they do not understand. This is such a weird thing to do. This is literally like when you try to get help for streaming, there's no like business you can call for them to help you with your streaming setup because streaming by nature is completely custom. They use all these different things. You could say, oh, you could use this to make, all in one, but you can't really, the more stuff that you add in, the more difficult it gets, especially like with the call-in stuff, all of the other apps, all of the things that are added in is what makes it really, really crazy. And then sound in itself. People have an issue doing concerts where it's just mics, like 4 mics, 4 instruments, and the mic is in front of the instrument, and they've got to balance the sound. Now imagine all sorts of other things, and then video software that's converting DSLR stuff. You've got switcher boards, mixers, all sorts of things, loopers and MPC ones, and all of this stuff hooked up. It's just insane. Anyways, that's what my day was like. China removes its outspoken foreign minister, fueling rumors. But not only that, by the way, we cannot, when we're doing the show, it doesn't matter if I have Dex or not. If we're doing our daily show, we put all of our work, our whole day goes into having that 2-hour show, which you guys see the 2 hours, but you don't see the hours before to put that together. Then by the time of the end of the show it's 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night, and we can't really do anything. We can't update things. We can't go in and change things. We can't start things. Don't have time to edit. Don't have time to do anything. That's why you'll see when there's gaps in this channel, that's when we're creating for the other one, because we put a lot into the content. That's why we can't just pump out videos and stuff for both channels. It's usually one suffers if the other is getting attention, because it's a lot of work. Is because we do this 5-day-a-week show. I have not taken more than 4 or 5 days off in 5 years, I think. In fact, I don't think I've ever taken 3 days off, because, I've probably done that, but I think of 3 days off. But 4 or something, usually, even if I'm doing a project or I've traveled, I've been doing cell phone videos and things like that out of my car. So there's no time for us to actually do some of the projects that we've been wanting to do. So I'm kind of happy to get some of the projects done, but just understand that the shows this next week are, in fact, the next week and a half are going to be very scattered. So just understand that, and make sure to follow the website, and of course follow the community notes. China removes its outspoken foreign minister, fueling rumors of rivalries within the Communist Party. I don't know what's actually going on with Beijing, but I do know from Foogle Fam members, there was a Foogle Fam family member that said that they just heard from one of these companies that is trying to buy up just mass amounts of real estate, that one of these companies, one of the lead people at one of these companies actually is part of the top like CCP people, and essentially told, this is coming from Foogle Fam, but from somebody I actually believe on this, told certain family members in the Northwest that they don't have much time left if they want to get their stuff in order or to come back to China. And I thought that was pretty wild. I guess I wish this person could put that person on blast, because if we did, I think it would be like front page news type of stuff. Either way, China removed outspoken foreign minister Qin Gang from the office on Tuesday and replaced him with a predecessor, Wang Yi, in a move that has already fueled rumors over personal lives and political rivalries of China's Communist Party elite. In its announcement on the national evening news, state broadcaster CCTV gave no reason for Qin's removal, and he had dropped out of sight almost a month ago, and the foreign ministry has provided no information about his status. It says that is keeping with the ruling Communist Party's standard approach to personnel matters within a highly opaque political system where the media and free speech are severely restricted. Well, there is no free speech. And it says the ministry made no comment at its daily briefing on Tuesday. The move comes amid a foreign backlash against China's increasingly aggressive foreign policy, on which Qin was a chief proponent. Adding to the mystery around Qin's removal, it was approved at an unusually scheduled meeting of the Standing Committee of China's rubber stamp legislature, the National People's Congress, which normally gathers at the end of the month. Qin last appeared on camera at a meeting with Sri Lanka's foreign minister in Beijing on June 25th. The foreign ministry at one point put his absence down to bad health, but swiftly scrubbed the reference from its official news conference transcript and has since said that it only had no information to report. So bad health, and then scrubbed that, and then saying, we don't know nothing. Something is happening. Who knows? Maybe he spilled coffee on his boss's shirt. Who knows? You know, that usually calls for stepping in front of an anti-air missile or something, but who knows? And then Biden's dog commander has bitten Secret Service officers 10 times in 4 months, record shows. President JB's dog, Commander, this is JB's personal dog, bit Secret Service officers at least 10 times between October 2022 and January, including one incident that it required a trip to the hospital for an injured law enforcement officer, according to records for the Department of Homeland Security. The conservative watchdog group, which is kind of funny, Judicial Watch on Tuesday released nearly 200 pages of Secret Service records that it obtained through a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit. The group said that it filed suit after an agency, division of DHS, quote, failed to respond adequately to its request last December for records about the biting incidents involving the purebred German Shepherd. So it's not like a little, teacup doggy. This is a German Shepherd biting people. The group said it filed the request after receiving a tip about Commander's behavior. The White House and the Secret Service appeared to play down the situation on Tuesday. Elizabeth Alexander, communications director for the First Lady Jill Biden, said in an email with the White House complex is unique and often stressful environment for family pets, and the Biden family was working through ways to make this situation better for everyone. I don't know, maybe not have it running around the White House freely. Maybe put it in you have the whole White House lawn. I don't know. It seems like from what other articles that I saw about this said that it just kind of freely runs around. And that's kind of cool if you think about it. If just to put aside who the president is, that the president's dog is just like running around the White House, and apparently he's got kind of a mood problem. But who knows? This is like a security dog. Maybe these guys are going up and trying to pet it or something. I don't know. Either way, I'm always on the dog side on this, but depends on what they do. Who knows? It could be biting people because JB could be a horrible dog owner and the dog's mean. Or it could be biting people because it's scared and it's got other issues. Or it could be biting people because it keeps, finding cocaine bags on the floor and it's like a cocaine shark or cocaine bear or something. Who knows? I don't know. You never know at the White House these days. And then U.S. to provide tiny Black Hornet nano drones to Ukraine in new aid package. What's so crazy is we even said that it was like 3 or 4 months ago, it said they're just going to keep getting new and crazier stuff in Ukraine, and that whatever they ask for, they're going to get it. These things are definitely cool. I would love to actually see one of these things like work in person. These things are incredible. They're tiny, tiny, tiny drones, and these things can fly and basically like be a fly on the wall. These things can, they have range. They can be up for a long time. For how small they are, they're unbelievable. And it said that UK will receive a batch of tiny Black Hornet nano drones used for reconnaissance in a new aid package worth, get this, $400 million. But don't worry, guys, this is going to be an accounting error. It was actually $44, and it was from China. It's $44. In fact, they're going to have a new commercial coming out like this technology was used, and it was a $400 million technology, and we're making this technology available to you for $19.99. And it's going to be a horrible scam YouTube ad here in just a couple days. But on a real deal, I don't think these things... how are these $400 million? As a hobbyist and somebody who knows a little bit about drones, I guess it's really small, but what do these things do, and what kind of sensors do they have in them that make them so damn expensive? Or are they giving them swarms of these things to cover a country? $400 million. The thing is a lot of this military stuff is horribly overpriced. So say, and I don't think it does say that they, and again, in addition, they're going to be sending various types of other missiles, other things. But as far as these things that are sent over, there's very little oversight, as we saw with the accounting error for $6 billion, not million, $6 billion. Each billion is 1,000 million. $6 billion in accounting error because they build it as this and they build it as that. So we can give them extra stuff, right? We see stuff like that. And we see stuff like, they'll make a toilet seat for a jet and it's $20,000 because it's custom and for a jet. Really what's happening is they're ploofing up the price of things so they can in my opinion, put it through the laundry. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. In addition, the package will also include various types of ammunition, including missiles for HIMARS and NASAMS. They're going to keep giving them stuff, Javelin, anti-tank. They're giving them jets here soon. There's going to, it doesn't matter what they ask for. They're going to get it, including experimental stuff. Now, I wanted to do something a little bit different here. And I wanted to show you guys. Here, let me pop this up. Let's see here. Let me see if I can... So some folks are getting booted, in fact. Let's see here. Oh. Let's see. Oops. Yeah, so check this out. Now, I don't know this gentleman personally. I have followed him for a while, but this guy has a large following. Actually got knocked off. And what was interesting about this is I was actually I responded to one of the last ones there, and essentially this guy, Dom, was suspended right after saying, and it was this long quote. In fact, I don't know if mine will show up because it's probably it probably deletes that tweet or something. What's so weird is he's actually on one of the Twitter Spaces, or now they call it X. They've actually changed the logo. And what I saw right before he got knocked off wasn't that crazy. Basically, what he was questioning is this whole incident that's going on with a former prez and the guy who cooks for him, right? What's nuts, though, is not only him, but others, anybody that has talked about this. It's just whoosh across the board. So highly recommend follow me over on Twitter because I'll be sharing stuff about that. And then we may be having a space later this week revolving around all of this stuff. And over there, anybody can jump in. Anybody, it's kind of like an open mic. Anybody can pop in and talk about it. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'd also love to hear from our many active or retired military folks later over this whole week. Let me know if there's anything crazy going on, because right now is this kind of crunch time. There's obviously a lot of things that are lining up right now as far as, this was going to happen in the next 6 months. This was going to happen in the next 3 months. And now we're kind of lined up at this area where you have a ton of potential disasters that could go off. As a prepper myself, on a side note, I would love to talk to you guys off air, and just for my own knowledge and for protecting my family, I would love to know what the heck is going on and why is there so much chatter, not only around what is happening in August and September. I understand that there's always some sort of big event in either September or November, but what also is going on with all of this air traffic stuff. Lots and lots of chatter. Why? Is it just everybody is hyping themselves up, or is there something actually happening? Let me know. And of course, make sure to follow me this week, especially on the community notes side on both channels, on Marfoogle News and on Marfoogle TV. If you haven't already, go to the website and go to that top tab and make sure to subscribe to the news channel. That news channel has all sorts of other great videos on there. Those are short and shareable. Most all of them are, in the 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes at the longest. And you can share those out with somebody who doesn't know who we are. All right. And let's go back over to the chat here. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Let's see. So weird. Okay. Thank you, Geneva Cordoba. Thanks for keeping me company at this late time. That's awesome. Thank you, Geneva. I appreciate that. Wages World. Thank you. Aberration. That's funny. And let's see here. Michael Lewandowski. Numbers matter. Manifestations of light. You rang. Neil, lots of new people. Lots of people just rolled in the last few minutes. That's awesome. Well, I hope you watch the replay of this. Again, in the beginning, I kind of explained what's going on this week. It's actually going to be longer than, it'll probably be at least 9 or 10 days. because there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. And then my day job, I am doing projects. And yeah, so there's going to be a lot coming up. But on the other side of the tunnel, we're going to have 2 new channels. We're going to have stuff up on a new platform, multi-streaming. We are going to have new edited content. And what I am really excited about is I am actually relearning all sorts of editing stuff right now. And I'm actually, I do have somebody who is really, really good at it, teaching me some of the more advanced stuff. And I'm going to start bringing that to the channel. I've done a lot of film stuff for other people. And now I'm getting into and digging into more of the editing side. I was actually doing filmography for others and then pass it off to somebody who is a really good editor. Well, I want to get into that, and I want to bring more quality not only to the channel, but to projects that I want to do. There's several projects that I have thousands of hours of video, especially over the last 3 years, that I want to finish and make. So there's going to have to be a time where I take some that we'll have to do shorter shows and be able to not do the 2-hour live shows for us to finish some of that. So I'm only one person, Dex is only one person, and our mods are only several people, but you get my meaning. So thank you everybody for showing up today. This is a shorter show, and again, I will see you guys tomorrow. And there's a lot of things set up now, so I will probably let you know by 3 p.m. Pacific time when the show will be tomorrow. So I will for sure do a community notes and make sure that you guys know exactly when we're live tomorrow night. All right, thank you. And again, thank you for being in chat. Lisa R. Hall, special thank you. Make sure to also go check them out over on marfooglenews.com/friends. And I'm sure I probably missed something today because I was busy trying to get all of this stuff set up. I had to download all my old apps from my old computer. So it took way longer than expected. So thank you. But I did still want to get out a show today. I am tired. And I thank you guys for being patient. Thank you, Trinity. Thank you, Ilea. Thank you, RGL Harris. Thank you, Wages World. Thank you for being a night owl like me. Lisa R. Hall, Jammer1, Gem, CJ Blaze, Chance Paladin, and Bones, wherever you may be at this late hour. Thank you, and thank you. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out. Now it's time for a short shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro.
Don't believe me in God, booyah, gonna bring it real raw. Yo, yeah, make it hereby. Everything about to get put on pause. Loser, don't believe me in God, booyah, gonna bring it real raw. Yo, yeah, make it hereby. Everything about to get put on pause.
Thank you, BOD.
With the case
think I see patient zero. I look a lot like he works at the bureau. Face looking like a Neo. Black suit, black tie, this ain't no hero. Hey, I think I see patient zero. I look a lot like he works at the bureau. Face looking like a Neo. Black suit, black tie, this ain't no hero. Hey, I think I see patient zero. I look a lot like he works at the bureau. Face looking like a Neo. Black suit, black tie, this ain't no hero. Hey, I think I see patient zero. Hey, with the way out, a wet way world. Everybody on the bag with the bad world. A zero, dip it up, everybody with a yo way. Got the yo on the way with the Christian Parker and the KT, clean the lot, hard. Who gets there with the woman on the Warren G and the and the Evanston? Hey, with the Robert Wiener backbone. Everybody really wanna go to whack one. Hey, I with the B.O.D. Marf and the Dex in the white on we. Hey, with the C on the we, I'm back. I want my MFTV in the we on back. I said the Qatar Reef and Mr. Steve. Bring it with the salute, President Zaddy. Hey, with the big old baddie. Oh, going right to Betty. Maybe going back now with Betty. In my nightmare with the big more bad like updates. And it maybe be, I said the updates. Hey, to my nightmare, I said the updates. And in my nightmare, I said, hey. Down low, I'm not the driver. I said the won't I buy. I said won't I said the don't I buy. I do one just down the new driver. Bop 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 bow. Dip dop doop dop doop. Hey, Kenny on the way with a cabin girl. And a President Zeddy in a who world. I am Manuel Davis, go to bed. Everybody move now, we drop. Move now, back now, we all say where. Now I say, I go back the way. I know, I wait a funky on the fly. Bring it on back now, when do we die? Everybody knows it, go Lord lie. Hey, with the, I got a flipper on the fly. Everybody gonna go take a ride. Hey, he cleans a lot and the rest is high. So back with the booty eyes. Hey, with the P on the O on the H on the I with the poker 420. So on the Blake and a hot lane of all bitch. Talking brown 100. Oh, nice cinnamon, Mr. B. Thanks for the subscription domain. I got a print back with the on the cold pie. Service channel and a Mr. Wise. Hey, we depart of Peter Kurkowski. Everybody go out if I house it. I'll bring it on with Jamie Beers. Everybody gonna way over here. I said I'm They hate you now. Ooh, ooh. Hey, I'm with the wicked on the bed.
Baby,
a good night, Cordoba. Thank you. Have a good night, guys. Love you. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marf out.